What a drive this has been from the efficient driver! This requires wrestling. What a move! Stunning!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Sector 1 Sim Racing. Round number 5 coming to you live from St Croix in France this evening. A track that's sure to provide many a thrill, many a spill. It's an exciting track, extremely fast track this one. And tonight the Group B boys take each other on. And it'll be interesting what the outcome of tonight's racing is with so much on the line. Joining me in the box tonight, we have joining me for the Ferrari race will be, surprise one, we've got Dane, Mr. Diego. Dane, how are you, mate?
Very well, sir. How about yourself?
Feeling a little intimidated by that deep voice of yours, mate. It's got commentator written all over it. It's a good one. Looking forward to tonight. Also joining us... Sorry, mate, go ahead.
You're right, you go.
That's all good.
I was going to say we'll see how we go. 50 minutes, so it's going to be a good night for the Ferrari race tonight.
Absolutely, mate, with so much to sort of unfold, and as we prepare to move on from here into what will be the final round at Monza. So this is the one where they sort themselves out and hopefully find good position on the ladder to take on or give themselves every opportunity of taking out a championship, whether that be a BMW championship driver, a team's championship, or even the great overall. Well, it'll all be start to become a bit clearer tonight. Also joining us in the box tonight for the BMW side of things, we have the one and only NASCAR. How are you, NASCAR?
Good afternoon, mate. Good.
Good evening.
Excited.
How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Tired but excited, mate. Ready for this ripping B race that's about to unfold.
I heard you've done a bit of work as removalist for the day and got the better of you. I'm sure you'll be able to hang in there for the half hour of the BMW race.
Absolutely. This will get me going, that's for sure.
Sounds good, mate.
Anyway.
Well, guys, just before we sort of get the show on the road, what we thought we might do first up, obviously, as always, is put the example of what a fine lap around this joint would look like. And, of course, I referred to the purple sector. So here we have Sean giving us a bird's eye view of a quick lap of St Croix.
Sector for round 5 of the next level racing 458 competizione Aussie Hampton M3 Challenge from the fantastic St Croix, or as we like to call it, St Bloody Croix. Just a tick over 7 kilometres, really fast and flowing racetrack. Heading towards turn 1 now. This is Wardo, also named after our season 1 champ. Really fast corner, about 170 kilometres an hour through the face of the corner, and it's flat to the floor. Goes through a lacy, then we're hard on the brakes, back down to second gear into cross. Tricky corner this one actually as well. You can't get the rear to step out if you're a little excited on the throttle pedal. Now to the best part of the track. This is the fearsome Alpe d'Huez. So it's flat out through, then we go right, then we flick it left, then we fiddle the brake pedal, then back to second gear as we go right again. Fantastic part of the track, really exciting. Now over the Bridge of Champions. Really important here as well to set yourself up nice and early. One of the trickiest corners on the track. This is Dom Perignon. So it's back to second gear. Got to be really careful of that outside wall as well. It's really easy to clip the wall. Now we're into probably the trickiest corner on the track. This is Bordeaux. Watch for the surface change. Then you drift it out as wide as you dare. Really get close to that wall, maximise your drive. Now onto the back straight. This is a chance to take a breath, have a bit of a think. As we go through the flat. Not really a corner, more of a just a kick really. Then we're going to brake very hard into cross on. Good passing opportunity here as well. You've got to be very committed. Through cross on, again drifted out very wide. Again, a lot of surface changes, a lot of grip changes as well. Now through the rapid curves. In the Porsche, this is flat. Not too sure what it'll be like in the BMWs and the Ferraris. Great part of the track though. Maximum commitment through there. Head up towards the final turn now. This is a lower low. Really fast as well. Second, third gear, again depending on the BMW or your Ferrari and how you've got that set up. But that is a lap of the fantastic St Croix B. What a track this is. I reckon this is going to produce one of the best races we've ever seen here at Sector 1. It's got all the elements, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you go purple.
I think if we were going to be ultra critical, we'd say Alpe d'Huez could have been done maybe a little bit better. But it was a good idea of what this lap or what this track has to offer. G'day and everyone in chat. Good to see you there. Ryan, Chris Braddles, yeah. Hannah Jane, Ghost, good to see you in here, mate. Yeah, so just a bit of house cleaning, and Dane, you'd be aware of, NASCAR, you'd be aware of this. We've got a Ghost getting around track, but it'll be Pruski behind the wheel.
That's correct, mate.
We'll be able to tell by the width of the car, I think. Be able to tell who's really sitting at the wheel of that car pretty easily. So there is that little bit of a thing to keep an eye on. It is not Ghost driving, it is Pruski, who is around at Ghost's house. And then obviously later on we're going to be seeing Ghost get around in the GT race as well, filling in for one of his unavailable drivers. Dadson, evening mate. Glad you could make it. Guys, before we sort of move in to what before we move into BMW race, I suppose we should do a quick little recount of points. And rather than just throw points up there that make no sense, I've tried to make a little bit of sense of it. So with our BMW points, we might start with the team's points this evening and pay particular attention, I suppose, to the top three, maybe the top four, as we move, as we say, penultimate round. And today finalises and finishes off round 5. Ragged Edge Racing leading the BMW Championship with 228, 6 points clear of Deeds Racing. Dadson Racing in third, 2 points further back from there. Then there's a bit of a break to Lucky's Lawn Care Racing. Now, the key to tonight is Lucky's Lawn Care Racing. They have 2 drivers involved in tonight's BMW race. I believe we've got both Grassies and Magnet to race tonight. So every chance they could leapfrog Ragged Edge Racing to go into the final round of the BMW Championship with a lead. What sort of lead remains to be seen, but the opportunity is there. As for the remaining what have we got? The other top 6 teams there, they don't have a representative in tonight's race. So it's all there for Lucky's Lawn Care Racing to take advantage of the situation. So we'll keep a close eye on those 2 guys tonight and see how they go. Of course, this also has an effect on the overall championship, which we'll have a look at a little bit later on. So if we kick into the Drivers' Championship table, we see Grassies is sitting in 15th at the moment. So good chance he's going to rack up some points tonight. NASCAR?
That's right.
How's he been looking in early practice?
Sorry, who was that again?
Grassies and probably Magnet as well, the 2 boys we're talking about, yep.
Before I just refresh the event settings here, he's been doing well in the top 4, top 5 area. He's looking racy, mate, as well as his teammate there in S1 Magnet, or as the people in the box call him, Mr. Maginay. Yeah, he's been looking competitive too. So look out for him in tonight's battle.
So there's big opportunity here for those 2 boys to set their team up, and we'll have a quick look at the overall and the GT once we get to the end of the BMW race, mate. I think we're almost good to go. Dane, we'll let you go for the time being. And we'll
Talk soon.
Yeah, we'll rejoin you a little bit later on once we move to GT land.
Beautiful. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, mate.
All right, I think it's time to set them all loose.
Yeah, we did have a late entrance who was unable to participate in any of the pre-race warm-up, so there will be a 2-grid penalty for one Womble, I believe.
No, that's Buffer.
For Buffer. Sorry, mate. My bad. Buffer. Unfortunately, he got delayed and hasn't allowed him to attend any of our pre-race test starts. So, as the rules apply, unfortunately, that'll be a 2-grid spot penalty for him.
All right.
Alrighty. We'll join the boys now.
Let's get them going.
Hot tips, guys, in chat. Throw them up. Who's winning tonight's BMW race? Will it be... Who will start in pole? Well, I'm going to throw one up there. I'm looking for a massive performance from the Moff tonight. He come around and paid me a visit in the store. He's told me he's put in some practice. Told me what times he's doing, and I was surprised. He's going to be very competitive tonight.
Having a chat to Jim Bob earlier in today's practice session. He feels a little bit nervous. He doesn't feel like he's really fast, but I secretly think he's going to do something here. I think he's got something in the bag. I think he's going to be right up there, if not on the pole. As we got Chase here, making that BMW pretty wide for him here.
So these boys set off on their out laps. Of course, we saw some amazing racing here last Sunday from the Group A boys. No, the feedback in general from BMW was that the lap times in the race weren't necessarily as quick as the lap times were in practice.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Yeah, no, I think you were saying earlier nobody managed to hit a 7, a 207, and that's just probably, as we were saying earlier, a sign of the pressure involved. Yep.
Pressure. Looking over your shoulder or looking at what's in front of you, making sure there's no traffic around.
Yeah, the difference between time trialling and racing, isn't it? But the racing was hectic, it was tight, and for those that did the right thing, rewarding. And like myself, finished very close to the rear of the field, unfortunately, but anyway. It's these boys now, it's Pruski leading the way. Old White Hips is about to start off his lap with Jim Bob sitting nice and tight in the toe there.
I don't think he's having none of that.
No, that's right. He's going to take advantage of that.
Yep, there he goes. He gets a bump. Important bump.
These guys are fairly close in on each other here. Gonna wonder if it may have been a little wiser to give each other a little bit of extra room. And maybe jump in the toe of the car in front and try to time it towards the back end of the lap. You definitely get the chance to do that down that back straight, don't you? Close in a fair bit and gain a bit of time.
Yeah, exactly right, man. Especially down on the back stretch there, the dogleg back stretch there. Almost like a vacuum, vacuuming the car in front of you.
Now, the key to this qualifying session here is just how little time these boys in BMW have got to qualify. Really, it's this lap and maybe one more. Most of them will come into pits at the end of this first lap to get a fresh set of tyres, obviously not putting in any fuel in, but to get that fresh set of tyres. The lap is that long that it really only allows for the 2 laps of qualifying. So for a guy like Shizer here, who's unfortunately got himself caught behind Pruski a little bit in this lap, that's already sort of cost him. He's going to really rely on that second lap to try to improve.
Yeah, if I was a betting man, I'd probably mark this one off as a write-off and quickly get the tyres back and then go somewhat out of sync with the rest of the field here and just try and get an insurance lap here for the start of this race.
Seeing the rest of the field is a little bit more spread out. It's just the front guys that decided to sort of mount on top of each other.
There we go. There he goes in now. Smart man.
Good man.
Boy.
Here we go.
There's Jim Bob. It's a 209 for his first lap.
Clearly the fastest lap, although Grassy's now by the barest of margins.
About that.
By the smallest possible margin.
Margins 0.001 there.
0.001. But you were right, you picked it. Shizer made the call there and he's decided to pit at the end of lap 1, so yet to set a qualifying time, but then probably do 2 back-to-back maybe? Has he got the time for 2 back-to-back?
Yes, he does.
There's
just under 5 minutes left to go now, so he can probably do 2 back-to-back laps here. Just stay out and just hit it hard here. As the rest of the field, he will now have to. This will basically be their cool-down lap, but they'll still have to go full tilt to make the time.
Jim Bob's up on his personal best, which you would think would put him ahead of Grasses at this stage.
See how he goes through Bordeaux here. He's done really well through there. Oh, he's that's a tight margin there, but that's looking good.
Now we're expecting a
little bit up.
time out of Magnet as well. Of course, he's one of the boys to keep an eye on from Lucky's Lawn Care. Trying to bank as many points as possible tonight. And Grassy's just holding up his end of the bargain at the moment with the fastest time. Eyes back on Jim Bob. As he starts his approach to a lower low. The final right-hander. No,
Oh, he's pitting.
decided to pit, yep. And I think most of them might actually, as we said earlier.
Yeah,
So probably the man to keep an eye on at this stage might be all the way back down to Shizer.
There he goes.
He's on his out lap.
First lap.
Yep. So this is all going to happen pretty quick. We're going to get the second round of lap times banked in, and that'll be pretty much it. At this stage, Grassy's holding pole position with a 209.4. As we said earlier, holding the slimmest of margins to Jim Bob. A 1/1000th of a second lead, 2/10 to third, the Moff. That was my early prediction, the Moff in third. New PB coming in there from Womble.
As he hits the times.
209.2. Straight to the top.
Just check on Shizer. Oh, he's a bit down there, I think. He's got one angry Pruski there on his tuggers. Oh, he's boulder wide. Oh, that's hurt. That's really hurt Shizer there.
Yeah, Womble's now gone purple again.
He comes up towards the bridge. How's he fare through here? He's done really well through there. This might be a sector again here.
Just keeping an eye on Grassies as well, see if he's got a response in him.
He's 0.1 up. He's 0.1 up here.
You've got Magnet 0.1 up, have you?
No, I've got Womble 0.1 up here.
Oh, sorry.
4-0.
Well, this would be impressive.
Does it look like a great lap here? If he
He's
can
still
hold on?
purple, yep.
Oh, he's even quicker now, 0.267 up here. This is now in 6th gear, 250, 257, 8, 9, 60.
One for the late breakers.
Out of the BMW.
Of course, the fuel loads are getting lighter and lighter all the time. And these guys will just be getting quicker and quicker. If Womble can set something in the...
Wow, he's 0.4 up here.
Well, he's going to break into the 8s, and he's going to be the first man to do it.
This will be a sub 9. If he can hold on here, he does.
That
He's
was
very
quick.
there.
Final corner.
It's incredibly good through there. This is all good. That's
Bang.
a great lap. That's
Fantastic.
a great lap there.
Half a second quicker. He's now stretched his lead to nearly 7/10 over the rest of the field.
Grassies and Magnet.
Can they respond? Now, of course, that gives Womble another crack at another lap if he wants to take it. If the tyres will allow him, though, that's another question. But he has piled the pressure on these guys. Grassy's 0.2 over the bridge. He has got some traffic in front of him.
What's Jim Bob also got as well? So keep an eye on him too. He's in third. Jim Bob's up too. He's 0.4 up. Or 0.04 up, my bad. As he comes down the back straight. Who else we got coming up to this next sector here? Moff is also up.
Moff up as well, so that's basically the three directly behind Womble, second, third and fourth. All going to throw their individual challenge. We've still got Jim Bob purple. It's very slender lead, not even a 10th. Had a bit of difficulty getting around the rapid curves through practice. Wonder if he's managed to nail it this time. Currently sitting in third. Looks like he's got a good run out of a lower low. Hits the line. He's improved by over half a second on his own time, but just misses Womble. Front row. Grassies.
Shives are 4th place. Imagine that to the top.
Womble improved again. No, sorry. Magnet went to top. Moff
with the 5th place. T-Jam.
T-Jam out of the blue.
0.012 with a 208.44.
Goodness.
My word.
Well, as we said, that was always going to end in a flurry, and it did. All came in very quick towards the end there, but what we did see was Grassies, who at one point was sitting up pretty, is going to be starting from the 3rd row of the grid. Beside him, Moff. Jim Bob has ended in 4th, Womble in 3rd. Great performance from Womble. And Magnet and T-Jam has managed to pull pole position. Welcome, young fella. Well done. So we...
Just going to send them on a 1-lapper while we get the grid sorted out.
We will reset the grid, apply the appropriate penalties, but that was a hell of a lap from T-Jam. Come from nowhere.
All right.
As we wait for that grid to be set, we might again just have a quick little peek at these BMW points and see what that's left us with. So we've just seen T-Jam grab a pole, but we've also seen Magnet finish starting in 2nd. So opportunity to bank some massive points here for Lucky's Lawn Care Racing, potentially 30, which would move him straight to the top. Got a few guys filling in later on in the GT race as well. I think we've got one, the good doctor, reason for not being in the box. He's filling in for one of his missing drivers in the GT race. He's asked us not to focus on him too much. He's a little bit worried he might go a lap down. But he's going to be doing his all for his Blacklight boys in trying to rack up as many points for the team as possible. Yeah, things are starting to get serious. We're filling all spots in. Nobody really wants to give points away at this stage of the season. Yeah, Karen, I reckon you're sitting pretty. You're sitting pretty in the overall as well, which, as I said, we'll have a look at a little bit later, but the pressure's coming. And it just shows the value, I suppose, of having the even 4 drivers, you know, so an in this championship, an ultra competitive driver in BMW B is just as valuable as one in A. It's the way it works out, and you play to those strengths, and definitely those top 4 teams, top 5 teams there, all are represented by evenness of teams in that the standards set pretty high across all 4 seats. They will overtake you. They will overtake you if they have a big night tonight, and that will set up for a what will be an enormous final round. Of course, as we said earlier, at Monza. Word is Ferraris at Monza, not too bad. They feel pretty good out there. Be looking forward to that final GT race. It's never over till it's over, as the champ has said already in Discord chat earlier today, but he's looking good at this stage to potentially take out a 5th championship. Oh, Brocky. How are we going over there?
Just halfway through it, mate. Just waiting on everybody to enter.
Beautiful.
So get the grid fixed up. We're almost done.
So Magnet, obviously, a late comer to the championship, who tonight has already shown, I think he may have qualified in the top half of the field there. The other Lucky's lawn care driver who's got an opportunity to set them up. Flatstick, keep an eye on him. Sure to be something happen around Flatstick tonight. Always is. Always is an excitement machine. Look forward to seeing him. Looking forward to a strong performance from a teammate. Shizer. He looked good in practice. Probably didn't put together a great qualifying session, but it all comes down to the race, and I'm confident he'll be able to break into the top half of the field tonight. And bang some points for Counterpunch. But Red Mist Racing, well represented by Womble, who looks quick tonight. Looks very quick. All right, top three.
Rock, mate.
Guys, I'll get you to pop a top three. You first one to get it right. What could we do? We could do let's do a bottle of scotch. Let's do ourselves a nice reward for this one. So, bottle of scotch of my choosing to the first one who gets the top three in tonight's BMW race right. You can have a go too if you like NASCAR.
Oof. Top three.
Top
First
three,
drive.
got to be in order. First one in
All right.
gets it. So if there's a repeat, whoever says it first has got it.
All right. I've got T-Jam,
Yep.
Jim Bob,
Yep.
Womble.
Done. Lock that one in. Guys in chat, if you're keen on a free bottle of scotch, jump in. Alrighty. Are we almost ready to go?
Mate, we can set them on their merry way.
Alrighty, whenever you're ready, mate.
Yep. Okay.
So this is going to be exciting. Okay, we've had some picks there. Sean's had a crack. TJ,
Oh.
Magnet, Womble.
Oh.
Magnet, TJ, Womble. So we're getting the same three, but
Getting a lot of Wombles here.
yeah,
So.
if you've chucked,
No
chucked
pressure,
something
Womble,
up
no pressure.
somebody else has before you, change it. Because it's going to go to
All right.
whoever's mentioned it first.
All right, we're going to release the hounds, mate. Let's go.
Sounds good. I'm going to take a screenshot
Genuinely keen for this one.
of these call-outs. Yeah, mate. Once you get to the pointy end of the season, everything takes a different meaning. Everything gets a bit more serious. Alrighty. Let's get this show on the road, boys. Here we go. And they're off, away. Caught me a little by surprise, but it's the race to that first corner. Of course, T-Jam managed to get pole position, and he's had a flyer of a start around the outside. Magnet, can he hold it?
He has.
He has.
He's going to take the lead here.
Yep. He's taken the lead before the next corner.
3 wide. It's 3 wide for 8, 9th and 10th. He was Shizer, Excalibur, Shinobi.
Sort it out, boys. Oh, we've had Excalibur run wide. No, the Moth run wide. And rejoin.
No. He has rejoined, but he's right back down the rear here with Buffer, the Brev and Faster Jet, his teammate. And so I think they've got their affairs sorted out here as they go down the Gut Bridge.
Yep, Magnet's managed to get himself a run here. Coming over the bridge.
Bargy there in the back.
Approach to Dom Perignon. He takes the lead back. Taking the inside line.
They're all fanned out here from 1st to 5th. Meanwhile, we got 6th, 7th, and 8th, 9th, 10th. They're a bit closer than the other top half.
Yeah, we got Shizer applying plenty of pressure here and having a look up the inside.
Krusky as he goes straight past, but hopefully he's going to keep that door closed, otherwise Bruce will come right back here.
Managed to get in front of Krusky.
Chase! Oh! Oh no! Oh, Chase, what you doing, buddy? Oh, that's cost. That's almost what's a huge cost there.
Let's see if we can't catch that.
Big dive there from Chase. That almost had a monument to it.
Oh, yep. Run it on the grass, push Shizer out wide, then got into the back of Prusky. then got in the way of T-Jam. Excitement machine.
Jim Bob's down here. What happened there? He's back down to 12th.
Had some sort of an incident we haven't been able to catch. As again, Shizer puts the move on Pruski. He gets himself back up into 6th position. Pruski not giving it up easily, hunting for the inside line.
Imagine on the outside for the lead again. Womble and Grassies. Linus Stern here, battling for that 4th place, 3rd place run.
T-Jam and Magnet are close together, and as you say, Womble and Grassies as well. So they jump on the bridge, Grassies wide.
Almost bowled a big wide there, but he recuperates and tries to keep on that toe of Womble before it's too late.
There will be an interesting debrief at CP. They're both on either side of opposite sides of the garage, so to speak. So at the moment we've got Magnet leading the way. The end of lap 2 under intense pressure from T-Jam, who decides to put the move on again.
Got CP and Pruski having a bit of a barge. Archie.
Managed to get in front through Bordeaux.
Just chase again. Can he make it 6 this time? He does. But Jim Bob's right there. He wants to have another make for this too. They're all wadded up here. This is a function of something big here.
Interesting line from Pruski there. That's going to put him under pressure from Jim Bob. Well, Flatstick's a former winner at this track, so he's got history here. And he'll be looking to have another good one again. So he has had some success at St Croix, and he can be quick around here. Toe Jam now leading the way. 0.6 of a second lead back to Magnet, who's now falling into the clutches of Womble.
Imagine he runs a bit wide.
He's run very wide.
That's given Womble a huge...
Womble's going to get the run here.
Coming down up to us here.
So difficult here. He's out. You can really not see that guy out wide there. And if they...
Oh, but he's got it done.
Oh, well done.
He's got it done with bowls. That is bowls right there. Can he hold it here as they go up the bridge?
I think he's managed to get the better exit.
Hopefully shake the toe off the Magnet here so he doesn't make a pass at the end here.
Well done, Womble. As he sets off now, try and chase Toe Jam. Grass is in 4th, followed by Shinobi a second behind. Shizer at the moment is another second further back in 6th. Flatstick nearly 3 seconds behind Shizer after that contact they had earlier.
He's got Jim Bob's very soon. He's going to have Jim Bob all over his back bumper here.
Jim Bob perhaps a little short on practice this week, he thought. Still coming to terms with sections on the track, but he's putting the pressure on Chase here. Flatstick takes care and looks after the inside line. Manages to break late enough. Some good defensive driving from Flatstick. Well, Jim Bob's got a good run out of the rapid curves. And he's managed to go right around the outside of Flatstick. Say thank you very much. I'll take that spot back, thanks.
He's got to be careful, because we know how Chase is like. He sees that carrot dangling. He's gonna
Yeah, he doesn't like losing a spot. Usually likes trying to getting it back ASAP.
Oh, that he's taken too much there. He might get an invoice for that. He does. 0.5.
Who was that? Chase.
That's Chase.
Yeah.
He's taking too much liberties into that first turn, and it's cost him nearly.
Fruski's banking him up behind him a little bit. although it looks like they've spread out a little bit again. But at the moment, the Moff in 10th. As these guys, anybody thinking of a two-stop strategy might be starting to consider the stop around now, or maybe the end of the next lap. I reckon most might be going the one-stop. What do you reckon?
From experience, where these top three boys are, I think the winning bet's going to be the one stop. Purely because of the fact you're only going to do one stop, and you're not having to just waste all that time in the pits. But stranger things have happened with two stops, as we've seen with Mo Brazil. They can work.
Yep.
Don't know how, but they can work.
What did you end up doing on Sunday? The one or the two?
I did the one stop.
The one stop. The pressure's still coming from the Moff. A little bit further back, we've got Buffer in 12th. Just struggling to hold on to the back of that mid-pack. Pardon me, Faster Jet and Excalibur, who must have had some sort of an issue. The car's looking a little banged up on that front left. As we head back to the front, that gap's widening.
Opened up a big gap here from the other two.
Yeah, he's starting to push it out towards 3 seconds. That's a bit worrisome.
We're kind of fluctuating here. 1 minute you've got Maginae's right on the back bumper. Next minute you've got him second down the road.
Well, that's a swift lap, a 2:08.7. That's moving.
We've got Shizer who's made his way up to 5th place here. So keep an eye on him.
Yeah, he's closing on Grassies. It's within the second. So he is the mover through the field at the moment. Come down to how these guys are doing on fuel. Maybe just a quick fuel check of the top 5 for us, NASCAR.
Sure, will, mate. So we got TGM, who's just a smidgen under half a tank, and he's used those lefts quite a bit.
That tells me he's used that car pretty hard if he's down to half a tank already.
We've got Womble, who is even further down, further under half a tank there, and he's about on par with tyre use with TGM.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Maginae, who's on the mark, so he's right on half a tank, so he's used less fuel than the other two in front of him, but he's used a lot more tyres, so he's used a lot more fronts than the guys in front of him. In 4th place, you've got Grassies for Lucky's Lawn Care. He's used identical fuel to Maginae, but just a little bit more fuel, and his tyres are about the same as Maginae, so he's used them quite a bit.
Oh!
He's got Shizer!
Shizer with the late dive has made contact to the side there of Grassies.
And he's redressed it, so...
He has redressed it and lost a fair bit of time.
He has used, I think, the most fuel out of the top 5 rather, and he's just about used the most tyre as well, so he's worked really hard to get himself up to 5th place here.
Well, he tried to pull that move at the first opportunity there. Perhaps a bit more patience and lining him up may have paid.
For 6th and 7th here, as Jimmy's got the run here coming to the inside. We'll grab him here. Nicely done there by Jim Bob.
Starting to find his feet, Jim Bob.
I think you might be seeing him in the picture for the top 5 here as Shizer and Grassies are still going.
He'll have a
punch here.
point to prove. He pulled me up the other night when I said he'd had a disappointing season. Reminded me very quickly that he'd missed a couple of races or a race. So he'll be looking for redemption and he'll be looking to show me exactly how fast he can go. Possibly re-attempt to get back into that A group, although it might be a bit late for that. But he did well throughout Duez there. He's put a big gap on Shanubi just through that one corner.
Shizer scored for another run on Grassies here. He's taken him. but that's going to leave him all too vulnerable coming down the back stretch here if he doesn't get the run right out of here. Out of Bordeaux.
Just a bread and butter pass at the end of the bridge. Shoved it up the inside, and away he went. Well done.
Here comes Grassy's now, unless he's going to just sit behind him.
This is a decision now needs to be made. Defend inside line or be quick around the outside. Looks like he's just going to sit around the outside.
He's just going to sit there and coast behind him.
Well, mate, it looks like it's the one stop for everybody.
Jim Bob is still 2.5 seconds here on that 4th and 5th battle. As we see, T-Jam is still going there. We'll be doing Irish in the next lap. In the lap 7, he'll be doing again.
Just having a quick look through the field, and they have spread out back here. Wolfer still holding 10th. Pruski. Did Pruski pit? Or has he had some major issues?
Pruski started at the back of the field, mate, so he's pretty much where he started.
Yeah, one stage he was up with that midfield though, battling away with Chase and all that. And he's slowly filtering back through the field, I think. He is on a borrowed rig. It's not his own rig, so everybody knows how hard it can be to readjust. You know, it can take somebody the best part of a month to get used to a new rig, and he's giving it a go on the 1-9. Dobrev. That beautifully turned out Sector 1 sim racing car. Sitting in tight behind the veteran Pruski. Faster Jet. Holding down 13th. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, this could be his penultimate race, Faster Jet. He might be vacating his seat at season's end. And Excalibur at the end of the field. Work to be done if he's going to catch them off. Now, those two are close in the championship table. This could go a long way to popping Moff well clear of him with 1 round to go. All right, T-Jam, 4 seconds now, in control of this race. As we come to the first round of pit stops, expect him to pit here. Keeping a close eye on these pit line entries.
Oh,
that was very close.
Yeah, Womble, he just got it there.
Yeah. Oh, there's Magnet with a fuel advantage over everyone. Except for Jim Bob. Jim Bob again, strong with the fuel save.
That might get him here. Get him somewhere up or just get him closest to the car behind him.
T-Jam's out. Womble's out. So they lost a further second out of that. The lead is now an even 5 seconds.
Would you almost say race run and done?
Well, something that'd have to go wrong, and you don't wish that on anyone. So I'd say, all things being equal, he's on his way to a what I can only assume is a debut win. Happy to be proven wrong in chat. Womble again looking at podium. I do believe he's podium before. This could be a second or a third podium for Womble this season. Magnet.
Another strong performance from him.
Yeah, and I'd say he won't have given up on second place yet either. He only trails Womble by 1.8. The one I'm interested in is this one. Shizer was able to close up on Grassy's earlier. And he's fallen off the back of him now by just on 1.8 seconds. I reckon he might be able to close up on him again.
He's he's filled a lot more and put a lot more in the tank. Well, a lot more, but he's put a fair bit more in the tank than Grasses has. So
taken on more fuel, has he?
Harder.
Yep.
That's correct. He might be able to use hoping to push a bit harder here and hoping that Grasses will feel about that conserve, trying to just bring it home. Whereas Shiza can afford to hit the rev limiter a couple of times here and there on a lap or two. And Jim Bob has managed to get his way right up to Shiza here. Less than just about the
He's almost got it down to a second, hasn't he? These three are closing up, and this is where the battle's going to develop, I think. Through a low, and now through to finish, and they're 8th and commencing a 9th lap. So we come into the final third of this race with T-Jam in firm control of the race, followed by Womble in second, Magnet in third, and then this group of three, which sees Magnet just in vision up ahead in the red car, holding down fourth. Shiza in front of us here in fifth, and on board with Jim Bob. Flat stick a further 2 seconds behind.
Matter of fact, he'll be very close to him just before we get to the bridge. His Grasses.
Oh, run a bit wide on the grass again. He's done that a couple of times. He's just struggling with that corner a little bit.
Possibly bring these two right into play. He's not careful here these next couple of corners.
Yeah, this one's brewing. Jump on board with Shiza. He's still at a second of Grassies. He's just on the cusp of being able to get a tow here. Needs to get a little bit closer. All on his lonesome out there at the moment. He's flat stick. In a big gap with Jim Bob 3 seconds in front and Shanubi 4 seconds behind.
A little bit of no man's land there for Chase.
Really, for all these guys at the back of the pack at the moment, they've just spread right out. All sort of driving fairly lonely races until we get to sort of Buffer and Dobrev, who are locked in their own little battle. Again, so if we take the bigger picture on board now, this third position that Magnet's holding at the moment and his teammate right behind him,
that's going to put them up the front.
That is going to put them up the front.
But as we see here, this gap has shrunk right down to 0.3 now. Shiza might have something to say about this.
Yep. He's closed the gap. Now, just needs to be patient here. That's where I got myself into trouble. He's got all of that back straight to pull the move. So even here, if he just plays it right and just tries to minimise the gap to the car in front, he'll get it done with the toe down the back straight. There's no need to risk anything through here. Still a bit of a gap back to Jim Bob, so he doesn't have to worry about the rear vision mirror at the moment. Oh, clip of the wall. Grassies, he's out of shape going through there. He might lose his spot a bit earlier. Only problem is if he takes the lead on him, it just gives Grassies the toe back.
Smart move.
Here we go. This is the place to pull the pass. I think he will.
Yep. Nicely done there by Shiza, and he's gapped him too.
Yeah, I thought you might barrack for the CP car there, Karen. He's just pushed that Lucky's Lawn Care car back 1 point further. This is a great drive from Shiza. He started a fair way down the field, and he's literally carved his way through.
tyre and fuel wear. He's got slightly less fuel, about identical tyre wear, so it's going to be interesting. Keep an eye on this one.
Scheiser's flying. He put a gap there on Grassy's pretty quick. He might be able to catch him. They've got, what, about 3 laps to go?
Correct, yeah.
Let's check on the leader. And this has now become a commanding performance. Nearly 7 seconds out in front. This fella's...
Not stopping either.
You know, I think he's showing us where he might fit into the championship come season 3. He's got some genuine speed.
Oh, Jim Bob. Jim Bob's had to make a run of grass. Grass goes wide again.
Yeah.
Going up to the bridge.
He does not like Altuez.
I think Jimmy might have assisted him there, hence why he's backed off.
Yep. I think you're right.
But I think Grassy's is feeling the pinch right now.
Yeah, he's just got no confidence coming into the Altuez. He keeps running it wide. He's tried all sorts of different lines to approach the corner, and as you'd know, it's really about setting the corner up the 2 corners prior.
That too, and also holding that wheel, just keeping the car straight over that big bump before you hit on the accelerator.
Yeah, that bump does you no favours, does it?
No, not at all. Otherwise, it'll just send you straight into the grass there, which Grassy's experience right now is Jim Bob. He's going to make the run. Here he goes. Nicely done on the brakes. Can he keep it?
He will.
Nice and tight. He does.
Made it look easy.
But unlike Shizer, he's brought Grassy's right back into it here.
Shizer's cleared out.
He's checked right out 3 seconds, 3.1 seconds to be exact.
Yep, still a further 3 seconds though.
Yeah, he has brought himself a little bit of time there on Magnet, but will it be enough? We don't know yet.
It's going to be a tough one.
Nevertheless, I think this will be a very good result if he can hold on to this.
Absolutely.
I'm quite happy with this one.
Absolutely. Have a quick look through the field. Some of the guys a bit further back again. A little bit of camera time. The Moff in 9th. Sorry, put the Moz on him. Commentator's curse. Sorry, mate. Solid performance nonetheless. And well in front of the young fella, more importantly. Buffer holding down a top 10 finish. Debrev still hounding him though. A little under 2 seconds behind. Pruski in the borrowed rig. It's just that Melbourne air, it doesn't agree with him. And chances are he may have had a frothy or two as well. Not that it shows, just saying.
Hey, you said not me.
And we have
Really good fun.
Excalibur. Sorry guys, Excalibur. He'll be disappointed with this drive. He's had history at this track before. He's had better finishes than this.
Disappointed in finishing behind his old man.
Yeah, you know, and it's gonna hand. I think he might be slightly in front of his. I'm gonna have a quick look. Sorry guys to interrupt the footage, but just to have a quick look here, the Moff and Excalibur, 2 points difference. So Moff here is going to leapfrog
In the father and son championship.
in the father-son championship. I'm sure they've got a own little trophy of their own. It might title him too. That gap's come down slightly up front. Womble's managed to bring it down to 5.6, but I'd say this is just TJM pacing himself to the finish.
Meanwhile, we've had another exchange of position here as Grassy's has taken back the spot on Jim Bob.
Oh, we missed that. What a shame.
Jim Bob's not been able to capitalise on Grassy's there and pull away. He remains in 6th place here as they come for
Start lap 13.
penultimate lap.
Yep.
As Jim Bob gets another good run here on Grassy's. He's going to go for the outside here.
Yeah, this one's going to get decided, I think, on that final lap. The two evenly matched.
He's going to go. Oh, he's
Just whipped it around the outside.
Nice and deep there from Jim Bob as he takes the 5th place back.
Just quick check here on Shizer. He's pulled a second back on Magnet at 2.8 2.8, 2.9. But it's not going to be enough, I don't think, to claim a podium finish.
You never know. Keep an eye on it, however. Oh, Grassy's gone. Oh, he's hit the wall again.
Oh, again. Let's have a look if we can't
bridge.
catch that replay.
That's his biggest hit of the race, by far. And that's cost him dearly, because now he's even got Flatstick, who's...
Well, Jim Bob had managed to get out in front of him on the approach anyway, so he had lost the position already. But yeah, he's just carrying too much speed through that corner, and it's pushing him wide onto the grass. He will be having nightmares with that corner tonight. He's dropped himself, well, still managing to hold 6th with a decent enough gap still to Flatstick, so it's kind of brought that battle to an end. Pretty much decided, I think, what our top 6, top 7 is going to look like.
Meanwhile, I think Shizen might have put the cue in the rack here. I don't think he's going to try and fight for that third position, even though it probably might not have happened, but you can see the time gap just going up and up and up between him and A now. I think it's...
might be the wise thing to do. I think, you know, risk an accident at this stage would be silly.
When you've worked so hard to get from 7th place up to 4th, I think it's wise to just mosey on home now on what's going to be now the last lap.
Apparently Pruski's struggling on the F1 wheel. Too much wheel for the man. And definitely not enough Coronas. Well, he's been a picture of consistency as Toe Jam as we ride on board with him through his final lap. Crosses the bridge for the final time. We're hitting the brakes just after the 150, nearly at the 100 there.
And Womble, I believe this might be his first or second podium.
Yeah, I think it's at least his second. I have a recollections of a really solid finish, maybe 2 rounds back.
So another solid drive from Womble.
Yep.
From has improved leaps and bounds since joining the series.
Racking up the points.
Fantastic to see him up here on the podium again.
You can only assume that there's nobody in any sort of fuel trouble at this stage.
Nope, everyone is good to go home.
Flashing lights. He's been told he's on screen.
Yep. But that's going to be enough for him to get home, without a question.
Yeah, I think Toe Jam's showing us what he's made of tonight. As he heads through the rapid curves for a final time. Well done. On debut. Going to collect the checkered flag. Fantastic performance.
Good job, Toad.
Runaway victory.
Sending a message to the competition here that he is ready.
And a second finish for an ecstatic looking Womble. I think he's pretty happy with that.
Oh, yeah.
Magnet, big banking of points here for Lucky's Lawn Care.
Yep.
There'll be a
with the 4th place.
great drive. Drove through the field.
Possible driver of the day.
Not a bias call, but my driver of the day. Grassy's finishing 6th. 7th for Chase. Shanubi finishing 8th. The Moth finishing in 9th. Buffer. A top 10 finish. Can never complain about that. Brev. Here he comes, Pruski. He's having a good time anyway, and that's what it's all about. Excalibur in 13th has run out of fuel.
And Fasterjet will take over the 13th spot for him. Which in that old father and son championship will do him an absolute
look, he's got a strong upper hand, Moff, now. A lot would have to go wrong next round for him to lose that battle. But yeah, unfortunately, Excalibur's not done himself any favours. That car is looking a little worse for wear. Well done, Prusy. Commitment, mate. Managed to still run your race. So far away from home. Driver of the day, guys. Now we need to... Did anybody pick the top 3? Don't tell me you picked the top 3.
Me?
Yes?
No.
Oh, good.
Who did you pick, sir? Yeah, B. Tell the truth here.
I took photos earlier on of people's picks, so I'll be able to confirm. Well done, T-Jam. Fantastic race, mate. Takes away a victory. Maximum points. Maximum points for T-Jams. A good rack up of points for Lucky's Lawn Care there, particularly from Magnet. Unfortunately, Grassy's left a few out there. He was looking solid for 4th at one stage and has finished down in 7th position. We might just quickly sort of have a glance now. Oh, before we do that, I suppose we should say our many thanks to NASCAR for joining us. He was a tired man today and he put in the big hard yards for us to join us and make sure that we had somebody with half a clue in the commentator's box. Left on my own, it would have been a battle. Appreciate you jumping on board and helping us out, mate.
All good, gentlemen. I love you, so I've got to leave.
No dramas, mate, and we will do it again sometime.
Absolutely, guys. Have yourselves a good night. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you at Monza.
Sounds good. Welcome back now, Dane, who's been sitting there patiently this whole time.
I have watching the BMW race. That was a good race, that one.
It was. You know, the winner took control probably by halfway, but the charge come through the field from Shizer made it interesting, and the track always offers something. So it was an interesting little race, and it definitely provided a bit more clarity as to where everybody sits within all the different championships that we have running concurrently. I'm just going to quickly run, guys, through some GT points before we launch into this next one, which is obviously our GT race, and we'll start off with the points. So, the team points. Sorry, sitting up top there, we've got Cornerstone Performance, equal in points with Force Performance. So I'm assuming that first and second might come down to race wins overall. I'm not sure. But again, Lucky's Lawn Care Racing sitting nice and high there. They're 31 odd points behind the top 2 teams, but thereabouts.
You've got an inter-team rivalry going on there with Lucky and Racing Car Like Legends. So
yeah, and the key here is they've got a driver in tonight's race. So there's an opportunity here for the Ferrari Championship, for the sister team to leap ahead. We've got Maverick Racing in this one, so if he was to end up, we wouldn't even need to end up at the pointy end of the field. They're going to jump him either way, aren't they? So we've got...
It's definitely coming down to the wire at the last round at Monza.
It is, and I'd say that for the championship, it's going to come down to the final round either way. So we have a quick look though at the combined points. Of course, this is the big one, and we've got
Deeds out in front at with 421. They've got a little gap just in front of Lucky Lawn Care Racing,
who will have gone a long way to closing that gap already, with the performance of Magnet and Grassy's just then. So in this overall, they're more than likely now sitting in first position ahead of Deeds. I think we might have also in this race the ones to keep an eye on. You want to keep an eye on Sean and Bumcrack, who are filling in for other drivers, but their team points will go a long way to helping Ragged Edge Racing, who currently sit in 4th. They're a good sort of 50 odd points behind the leaders, but they could potentially move into a top 3 position if those 2 boys manage to rack up some decent points.
Both Ghost and Bumcrack were putting in good times earlier in practice, so
there we go.
Anything's possible.
Okay, well, it's all to be decided. So we might kick into qualifying. I've got a little bit of work to do here before we can do that.
Beautiful. I'll get these boys underway.
So again, guys to keep an eye on here, the 2 Ragged Edge races with opportunities to affect the overall table. As we've already said, more than likely we've got already a new overall championship leader in Lucky's Lawn Care Racing. Cannot wait to see what's going to unfold final round. But before we get to that, we need to find a winner at tonight's race. Who's going to be our St Croix champion for Season 2? Always been a popular track.
An unpopular track to another couple of people as well. That corner coming onto the bridge is absolutely horrid in the Ferrari. So we'll see how these boys go tonight.
Yeah, interesting. As they head out on their out laps.
Just try and pick up who's out in front there, but
We got the good doctor, I think, out in front.
the good doctor.
Yep. He's
Black light.
jumped out of the pits nice and early. Interesting.
Jimmy Superfly following closely in that lovely Revolution race gear Ferrari 458. So he's latched onto the back of the good doctor there.
We've got Ghost driving as Ghost
Ooh.
in that 3rd position.
Be interesting to see how he goes tonight. Big change from the BMWs over to the Ferrari, but he does love his Porsches, I do believe. So I'm sure he'll be quite at home in that mid-engine Ferrari. I
think we'll know pretty early on in the piece how he's handling it. I'd say he's probably going to do better than we'd expect. He's good at sort of keeping a lid on it and then unleashing. But yeah, it's not an easy car to drive, especially when those tyres start to wear. We'll know whether he's able to handle it under those conditions. One thing on the fresh rubber, it's another one that they start to get low on rubber. Old Wakey. We're looking
He's
for another.
done well in Group B this year.
He has. He's been very impressive in quite a few of the races we've seen so far this season.
Sort of the quiet achiever, sits back and sort of looks after the car a bit, lets the race unfold and pounces in the later stages of the race.
He definitely falls into that category of quiet achiever. We've got a few of those that get around, and he's one of them. Scooter 82.
No interjection. Scooter 82, Dadson Racing in the Bacchus livery. One hell of a teammate, I must say. He's always do like to try and beat him, but he's always on the pace. So
genuinely quick. We've got our second filling driver here running at 6th for Ragged Edge, the plumber, Bumcrack. He's yeah, look, I don't know what the expectations are, but the key is to get points for the team. So there's no point getting out of people's way. Race hard, race fair, score as many points as you can for the team. Speaking of which, my number 1 driver in DB007, of course, racing in B primarily due to being unable to attend a bunch of the earlier races, which was unfortunate both for him and for, I think, the championship as a whole.
I think he did get to compete in the FIA Nations Cup, which was, I think I saw, so that's sort of a one big achievement, but winning the Sector 1 Ferrari 458 would be one thing on my bucket list, I can tell you that.
Absolutely. And he'll be ruined not being able to have mounted a serious challenge to the championship and gone head to head with the great man. Nate, we got CB9 in the Revolution car. Jeez, we've got a few fill-ins tonight. I see Shanubi's backed up, doubling up.
Also in the other Revolution race car, yeah, a Superfly, he's jumped in tonight.
The other Tyrones currently running around in 10th. Oh, that looks good in the low light, that orange. I'm a fan of orange. Black Project, he's had a bit of an up and down season, but he's definitely had some highlights. As the first set of times start to roll through from the Ferrari drivers, and predictably, I suppose, we've got DB007 setting the far out a 206.5.
206.5. That was my lap on no fuel right at the end of the race that I didn't sort of get right, but first lap. Thanks for coming.
Makes you sick, doesn't it?
Scooter 82.
Scooter 82.
A second off, which is not too bad for your first lap. I'm sort of catch a banker lap and burn a lot of fuel and then move into that last phase of the qualifying. So that's a good start.
Good solid start.
Mr. Bumcrack there, as I said, he was showing pretty good pace in the pre-testing. So he's straight up into third.
Just a couple of guys I don't think we got a chance to show earlier on. No, we did, old Wakey.
We missed EBM
Mitch.
Mitch
there.
there.
He is. In the green beacon car.
Red Mist. I love those cars. The liveries those guys put on are absolutely awesome. He has struggled a little bit tonight. Watching him in the testing, so we'll see how he goes. Hopefully he can have a good time. And
yeah, just got a bit crossed up there through Alpe d'Huez. Hopefully not a sign of things to come. We saw earlier tonight Grassies have a bit of a nightmare all the way through the race, through that combination of corners.
And of course we can't forget fellow Taswegian Streetle Juice. He's picked up in the Pruski's race team, just passed my mind there. He's filling in as well. Sometimes those guys run the Tamer Cars livery, or I think it's the Forgotten Islands.
Mm-hmm.
He was struggling coming from the BMWs, and totally different car into the Ferrari. So he's had a couple of test days, he said, and so he showed some good pace. So we'll see how he goes tonight.
Well, interesting here. We've had a couple of guys, I suppose, out of sequence come into pits a little bit earlier. So unlike the BMWs who are really pressed for time through qualifying, the Ferrari guys get an extra 5 minutes, and it makes a world of difference for them. So it allows them to employ slightly different strategies if they want to. Not so tightly restricted by the amount of time. So
sometimes you can see a little bit of fuel load in the Ferrari actually stables it out a little bit as well. So having sort of a bit more might help you pinch that top spot.
Would you go as far as put a bit of fuel if you get too low? As in,
well, I did in this race actually. I ruined the pit strategy, and I normally lay down with about 3 laps and have 2 banker laps to run. But I tend to like it with still a little bit of fuel in there. It just settles the rear of the car.
So more into sort of like a third of fuel rather than a quarter, or getting down underneath that quarter and running ultra light. You prefer to have that sort of 30-40 kilograms of fuel on board.
Yeah, just start about the quarter mark there on your last banker and see how you go. But definitely looking forward to the M6 as a front engine rear wheel drive car next season.
Just got DB here, who is outside his best time, but just got into the toe of the Ragged Edge car at the right time.
And Bumcrack moves out of his way using his mirrors there. Good to see. All
the way through the flat, he was really closing in the toe, and this may have gained back what... No, he's still out. So just the Adam, another one of those quiet achievers.
He's popped up in the second there. Just 0.6 of a second off.
Well, I think it was Lake Maggie where he had his standout race finish, probably 2 races ago, where he was involved in a last lap shenanigans, you could say, with 2 or 3 other cars, which ultimately ended up with him finishing I think could have been a podium finish. Or a victory, in fact. Oof. It was a good result either way. And he's off to a good start here again.
Well, you got DB and the couple of guys behind. They've made their pit stop, so they've come out on fresh rubber.
Okay.
Under half a tank to go with those guys, so they're burning it quite well. Just the Adams smashed out the fuel in the 10 minutes he's been running.
Okay, we've got Scooter on the purple sector here as he comes on the approach of Alpe d'Huez. He's handled that really well. He's carried good speed through the corner onto the bridge. Get another sector split halfway across the bridge here. He's now personal best, no longer purple. He's green, just a 10th and a half, which would see him clear just the Adam if he manages to hold on to that. Just the Adam pulls into pits to set up for his final run. So we'll just follow Scooter here.
Scooter does have the quickest time in Sector 1 with the 26.9.
Yep.
That's
that
pretty
purple
quick. That's
sector. He's now, Dane, he's 2/10 down now, or under his PB, which would still be leaving him a good 6/10 behind DB at this stage, but putting him in the front row temporarily.
He's still got a couple of good laps in the time left, so whether he might jump in for another set of fresh boots or try and continue and see how this lap plays out.
4/10 now. He's nearly half a second quicker than his previous best. This will see him move to the front row. How long for remains to be seen. Crosses the line. 2:06.8. Outright second position. 2/10 behind DB. Geez, that's a good lap. He's given up on this one because he'll cop the penalty for that corner cut there.
I still feel like we're waiting for DB's magnificent lap just to pop out there and say thanks for coming, guys.
The heartbreaker.
But as you did see last week in the Group A race, a couple of the top guys did make mistakes. It was a bit of a shambles for some of them getting caught up with other people. So
yeah, we saw some unexpected mistakes, and once we get sort of to this sharp end of the season, you know, the pressure starts to compound, and it just seems to get easier and easier to make a mistake. Ghost has managed to move himself into a really respectable 8th spot here, just behind CB9. Just a breath behind him, really. Black Project a further 4/10 behind him, sitting in 9th. Blacklight, Streetle Juice in 10th.
So that's a good drive from Streetle Juice there to get the Ferrari up into 10th. Once again, a hard car to master straight out of the bat. Same with Shinobi there.
Yep. Just having a little bit of trouble with some traffic there. Don't know if he's on. Yeah, he's on a flyer. I think we might try to quickly jump on with DB, who's wouldn't be too far away here from starting his flying lap. Pretty sure he's on an out lap at the moment.
He's just pushed Ghost aside, mate. Come on, out of the way.
Well, you'll be looking for at least some clear track. Oh, geez, that purple sector. If he's not on a flyer. If he is on a flyer, this is going to be ridiculously quick. I thought he was on his out lap. But we just had a massive purple sector rock up. We're about to find out. Oh, this is going to be sickening. Boom, it was a 2:05.7. So he's put that second gap into the field again. As we said, that heartbreaking lap.
Times. Times the Group A boys were looking for, and no one seemed to get. So, well done, mate.
Oh, quite achiever. Oh, Wakey's done it again. He's moved himself up into the second row with a 1:07 flat.
So you'd think Scooter'd be on his last flying lap. I haven't seen any sectors pop up yet for him.
Well, he's about to get on the bridge here. We might see a sector as he crosses over the top of it.
even you got DB in the tow there. He's down there, so DB's in the tow. He might go and smash that lap time again.
More disgusting. We've got Scooter's only a 10th outside his best, so he's got an opportunity to improve. Bumcrack would be looking for that extra 10th to improve to the front row. Well, that will probably put an end to Scooter's chances. He's just run wide. He's run wide on through the flat and clipped the wall, which is probably now going to give DB the perfect tow.
Jussie Adams moved up to second.
Oh, well done.
He's got one more lap to go as well, so his tyre life's looking pretty good. I don't know about his fuel. He's already onto the light, so hopefully he's got enough to
get
go
all the way
bowl.
around. Oh, well done. So again, those quiet achievers, Jussie Adam, Old Wakey, all in top 5. Oh, that's the end of Jussie Adam. He's managed to take a bit of a spin.
Commentator's curse,
Yes,
thanks for coming.
Scooter now.
But it is
Approaches
nice and
the
tight.
finishing line. This is his final lap.
Nice and tight from 3rd down to about 7th, so anyone can sort of jump up into the sort of top 2 front rows. Old Wakey comes home. He doesn't improve.
No improvement. Black Project's a 10th outside his PB. He'd be doing well to gain that all through this final sector. Impressed by Bumcrack's 4th here. That's massive. Massive in both the context of the overall championship and just the achievement of getting up there on a promoted drive. Black Project RX-7.
He's moved up to 6th.
He did it. Final sector. PB, 6th
work.
position.
In front of Jimmy Superfly. He's coming home. Doesn't improve, unfortunately. Streetle Juice has already finished. He bumped up the time there, so he knocked a lot of time off his fastest lap, which is good to see. He's come home in 8th.
Well,
But DB007, thanks for coming.
yeah. I think he had just on 8/10 on the rest of the field there. So you never want to sort of kill the fun out of a race, but it's going to be a tough task for this field to beat DB. But
It'd be good for the guys to sit in behind and,
Yeah.
and watch the master at play, and they might be able to learn something along the way.
yeah, but I'm sure there's going to be a ripper race for that second spot anyway, because I'm surprised by how high up this the field some of these boys have qualified. Still waiting, I think, on one driver to get around. So perhaps another quick look at these combined points.
Yeah, we've got Jussie Adam run out of fuel, so he's stuck on the back straight there.
So as we were saying earlier, with Ragged Edge currently sitting in 4th for the overall championship, 368 points, and both Bumcrack, who's managed to qualify 4th, and Ghost 9th. Opportunity to rack up some big points. It's all about to cut loose. Should mention the good Doc starting at the rear of the field.
I'm sure he won't be there by the end of the race either. We do have all the red lights out. We're green, we're racing. A good start from everyone on the front field. As I say that, the good doctor's taking evasive action on the back of the grid there as well. But Jussie Adam, DB007, sorted out into the first corner. Scooter 82, nice and close on the backside of Jussie Adam. Over to you, Claude.
That 4th, 5th and 6th, 3 wide at the moment, and I think we've got Ghost involved in that perhaps, yep.
Ghost, Black Project.
They've all managed to get through unscathed, which is great to see. DB is away. We saw Jussie Adam temporarily challenge for that lead on the outside, but thought better of it and DB now is opening up the throttle.
And Jesse Adams under immense pressure from Scooter 82 behind there. If I was Scooter, I'd be trying to get past and get under DB's tail. Once you see that guy go in the distance, he is gone.
They need to take advantage of that hole he's punching through the air. A lot of fuel can be saved around this track, which is really 9/10 of the game here. If you can save fuel and retain track position, goes a long way to setting your race up. DB 3/10 of a second, but still managing to hang in there in this initial stages. Just the Adam. Scooter 82 tied in behind.
A couple of gaggles of groups going on. You've got from 4th back to 7th after the leading group. They're all having a bit of a fun, but after those guys from 8th onwards, those guys are playing for sheep stations.
It's all happening as we look here at 5th, 6th and 7th, which involves Bumcrack, who unfortunately has dropped a couple of positions off the line. Old Wakey, Jimmy Superfly have managed to get out in front of him. And he's coming under intense pressure from Black Project as well. Oh, geez, Superfly got close to the wall on exit.
This is the interesting one. Just on corner entry, there's a brilliant little bump that unsettles the back end of the Ferrari, so you've got to get that sort of worked out before you even think about getting around the corner, while having 3 wide back there with Streetle Juice, the other Tyrone, and Ghost. So Ghost, I reckon, would be absolutely loving this.
Well, he's managed to hold that inside line and keep another Tyrone and Streetle Juice out wide. They are banking up behind him at the moment. Again on the approach to Alpe d'Huez.
Oh, he thought about it. Streetle Juice up the inside, not the place you want to stick it there. Other Tyrone sticks him behind. I did tell Streetle Juice to just calm down at the start, look after the tyres, save fuel. So I reckon he'll just follow Ghost here and hopefully catch up to the guys in front. So Black Project right on the back end of Mr. Bumcrack coming off the bridge.
Wise advice. This battle at the rear of this pack is going off. These guys are all jostling for position. As you said, it just pays to play it on the safe side these early stages. There's nothing massive that can be gained at this stage, but a lot to be lost. They plough down La Flat for the second time. Ghost holding 8th position has gained a spot off the line. He'll be happy with that. We'll quickly jump up.
Already playing the defensive line down the back straight there, trying to lose Streetle Juice's the slipstream to Streetle Juice. So he's
limit the options for Streetle to get around. DB's cleared out to 1.7. So Scooter and Just the Atom have got involved in their own personal little battle here, and it's cost them the ability to stay in touch.
Even that, just making that pass on Just the Atom. Scooter's obviously got past there. You do lose crucial tenths just making that pass. So
he has managed to pull away slightly from Just the Atom. He's got about a second lead over him, so he's established his own pace. And at this stage, it's going to be good for us for a podium finish and a second position. Just behind, we now have Just the Atom really on now the pump from Superfly. He's going to have a look up the inside.
Which becomes the outside.
Exactly.
And he sticks it. Nice room.
Well done through a Lacey.
Not the easiest of corners to get through there, especially side by side. But he's done super well there.
To me, this is Just the Atom looking after the car. He's running at his times. He's running his pace. He's not... Oh, there we go. Superfly's lost it. Oh, dearie me. Hopefully there's nobody behind him.
He's hit a couple of others. Did we get a replay of that one?
We should be able to get a replay of that one.
He was coming loose into the flip-flop. He'd already unsettled the back end of the car as he was coming in and never regained it, unfortunately.
There he goes. He clipped both walls in the end, and
I think
Ghost,
he's had a bit of contact with some...
Ghost both managed to avoid. He really didn't affect anybody else too badly then.
He's gone around as well again after the bridge there. I didn't quite catch it, whether there was a bit of contact or obviously the dirt on the tyres.
That's how you go from fourth or fifth to last. That's all it takes. Scooter now. That did have an effect on just the Adam, who's dropped back down to fifth now. It looks like he's managed to regain position on Bumcrack. And as I was saying just before that accident happened, he doesn't seem to get overly concerned about cars getting past him. It's like he's running to his own beat, saving the car, and then it all comes back to him at the back end of a race. Ragged Edge boys running line astern.
Mr. Bumcrack just pointing his nose up the inside there, just to let him know that
still
he
around.
might chuck it up the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So fill that rear vision mirror up, distract the driver in front, which is it's quite easy to do if you many things to pay attention to.
Scooter's cleared out from Owake. He's got 3.5 seconds now. Who's also found himself a bit of clear air. Black Project. That's a big move up the field from Black Project.
I was saying I was thinking he's looking rather racy tonight, Black Project, from the start of the race. He's made some pretty good moves forward, kept the car on the track, and now in the toe of Old Wakey. So.
Just the Adam has started his recovery here. He is closing in on the back of these two as well. Might have a quick look at some of the cars a bit further down the field. Having a look at another Tyrone, who's got his hands full with Streetle Juice again. Oh, interesting shift of line there through that tricky right-hander, which has claimed him.
And
Commentator's curse. Oh, I've got to stop doing that.
You can actually ride that wall if you do hit it, but you can't stay on the gas. And I'd say, unfortunately, Streetle stayed on the gas and
crossed him up. Hit hard.
But not an easy car to learn in a couple of days' notice. But
yeah. Well, that's what it will be. You know, he'll be driving it not too dissimilar to the way he would have reacted in the BMW. Only to find that this thing does its own thing.
Well, the BMW's got a nice bit of understeer with it, where the Ferrari turn-in is absolutely beautiful compared to like the Aston Martin. Like it grips it. It's just the back end that I struggle with.
Yep, she's lively. Jimmy Superfly is also in recovery mode. He's back to 11th.
Good Doctor with a nice big slide coming out of turn one there.
Caught that on camera. He'll be happy about that.
Sort of tyre life though. He's wearing quite nice compared to the guys around him. We'll see how he plays out. We are coming into the first round of pit stops around the lap 6 to 8 mark, or some of the good guys, if they can save their tyres, they might come in a bit later. But
so we hit the 10-minute mark of this race, and all getting a little bit loose again there. See CB9 on the approach up to Where's that corner's catching a lot of guys out. It's managed to catch Jimmy Superfly again, and this is going to allow the good Doc to pull right in tight behind and even possibly attempt to pass. On the approach of Dom Perignon, he's decided...
his nose, no. Just backs back out.
Yep.
And as we say that,
geez.
Superfly with a big exit oversteer, which would have allowed the good Doctor up the inside. CB9 thinking about it too. And thanks for coming, guys.
Oh, these guys are drifting.
Whoa. His rear left-hand tyre is
seen better days.
Yeah. But good. As I was just going through the field, I was looking at the tyre use. I got to DB and Scooter, who's about the 2 second gap behind. Scooter's tyres are wearing absolutely beautiful, where DB is starting to show a little bit of wear in the left-hand rear tyre. So that will play out as we get closer to the pit stops.
Well, good Doc's managed to win out in that three-way battle temporarily, or just for now. We head back up the front again and check out DB, who seems to be managing this lead. He's definitely not clearing away. 2.8 seconds in front of Scooter.
Jesse Adam pulls in for the pits. Just a quick pit stop.
Running a different strategy to the rest again.
I'd say he might just have taken a few more laps of fuel. The fresh boots at this stage of the race would, I reckon, would be quite crucial. Like the times you can bang out with a fresh set of boots to the other guys. So he's probably looking for the undercut. So we'll have to watch that as it plays out.
Black Project's whittled away a little bit here at Old Wakey. He's got him down to 2.5 seconds. What do we got here? Adam doing a Karen strategy.
Shinobi's kept it nice and quiet. He's moved up into the top 10 just in front of Ghost there.
Bum crack now with the other Tyrone all up in his mirrors there. That's a fair drive from the other Tyrone. He's come from a fair way back from memory here. And he has managed to get in front of Bum Crack. Moving into 5th.
Pulls in front, takes the corner. And I reckon the way the car's handling for Mr. Bumcrack, he's going to say goodbye to. If I was Mr. Bumcrack, I'd be
looking at a pit stop here, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Starting to bleed too much time.
Scooter's in, DB's in. DB with a bit better fuel save, 40 litres, Scooter 37. Old Wakey, he's a legend, that guy. 40 litres, the same as the leader DB.
Yep, Black Project as well. Scooter 82, 67? Oh no, that was on the exit, had to be.
Yeah, that was on the, yeah, so
Claude,
that's the fuel he's taking out for the next stint.
DB's managed to extend that lead to 3.7 seconds. So he gained a second through the pit stop there. Managed to clear out a further second. Jesse Adam, obviously having pitted a bit earlier, now back into 4th spot as they sort of...
Well, I think we've got a problem with CB9 as well.
Reorganise themselves. CB9 with a problem.
Yep, he's stuck on the... and we've lost him, I think, unfortunately.
Okay.
Mechanical issue there for CB9.
Yep, an engine blowout.
So everyone apart from just the Adam has pretty much pitted on the 7-lap mark. They're all sort of playing the same strategy. It's just sort of the fuel they're going to be saving and working through these stints with that will change that up.
So we're really looking at just a lap difference in the end. I think Adam coming lap 6.
The start of lap 6, I think, yeah, so a bit earlier than these guys. But, you can see he's hasn't sort of hit the numbers I'd be looking for with fresh tyres, though.
Black Project there clearing EBM Mitch.
ABM Mitch, I think, has done pretty well this race. He's still obviously maybe got a pit stop to come, unfortunately. But he's, as you saw in I think it was the qualifying, had a bit of a moment there. So he's come to terms with the car during the race and looks to be doing quite well for the guys there at Green Beacon.
These filling guys do a great job. You know, they'd be fairly frustrating not being able to push as hard as you'd like, just for fear of making that big mistake, but it's the only way to do it.
Speaking of pushing, Streetlejuice and Ghost are still going at it. They're side by side. I don't know if we can get back to those two guys.
Yep.
As they Ghost makes his authority known and says, "I don't think so, Streetle." So he sits back in there and to live and fight another day.
So at the moment, sitting in 12th is Ghost, holding down 12th position for Ragged Edge.
You can see there's a good line of cars in front, so that's like a donkey with a carrot. So these guys will be going out and chasing them.
We see EBM getting caught in amongst this as he comes out of pits on cold tyres. They just managed to deal with him. That was a bit hairy. Now, I'm assuming the good doctor in front of Ghost here still needs to stop as well. Is he on a long stint?
No. The good doctor was moving up the field quite well. He made a couple of good moves over the bridge there, so he's good for position.
Right on.
She's definitely sheep stations at the back there for 10th backwards.
Now, just the Adam is closed back up to 1.5 seconds to Old Wake. So that gap is coming down. We jump on board with just the Adam. It comes through the flat. As we approach the halfway, no we don't. We approach the 20-minute mark of this race. Wishful thinking, Claude. He's definitely got his eyes set here on Old Wakey. That gap's coming down. Nice and smooth through there.
They're running the same tyres at the same tyre grip at the moment, but just the Adam is running a bit leaner, a bit less fuel, so they'll be making those lap times a little bit easier for him. But obviously, you get to the point where you run out of fuel. So,
yep.
So say that he's put in his fastest lap of the race there of a 2:08.1.
Aided obviously by his ability to save on the tyre though, so he's got 2 extra laps on those tyres over Old Wakey, but still in the same condition, so he's treated that set of tyres well, allowing him to take full advantage of this low fuel load. Now down to 1.4. Black Project sits in behind just the Adam. He's about 4 seconds down the road and 6 seconds up the road on bum crack, so he's out in a little bit of no man's land, but a solid 5th position nonetheless. Good banking of points for Blacklight Racing.
He did make a few positions first.
He's hit them. We've done it to him as well.
Get a goal, mate. There you go.
Sorry. We'll have a quick look at a replay of that.
Mr. Bumcrack will see that and grip his hands tightly and say thank you. Come on.
Now, well, that's given him an opportunity. That's right. Unfortunately, just took that shallow entry into the first part of that complex of corners, and it just makes that last bit. You really want to be approaching that right-hander onto the bridge from nice and wide. Hold a tight inside line on the left-hand corner and approach it from wide, yeah.
Pretty much as a start of your turning point, you need to modulate the brake pretty much all the way till you're about on corner exit and almost hitting full throttle. That's how hard that corner is to get right in the Ferrari.
Seem to come in real shallow. And this has given Bumcrack now the opportunity to further up the points gained and move them further up that championship table. Every position counts now. And they'll be well aware of that. That's why they're driving. They've got the fill-in drivers to make sure they scored some points. They'll be well aware of the importance of this race.
CB9 just saying that he had a glitch in the mechanical system there in one of the computers of the car. So unfortunate for him, but you never know, he might get another drive at Monza in a couple of weeks' time.
Always a shame. Tell you that I had it happen to me once on the approach to the finish line of the final lap of a race. fairly gutting experience.
You would have almost thrown the console across the finish line there, wouldn't you? Or?
I was pretty upset. I was pretty upset for a while too. Back up the front, we got DB007. He's maintaining that 3.6 second lead he had as he came out of that first pit stop. Bit of a slide there. I get a feeling he's just running to a number, controlling that gap, not overworking it, not doing anything silly. Scooter behind him, probably doing much the same. I think if you're Scooter, you're realistically thinking it's going to be too big a risk to set out after DB and attempt to run times that could potentially bring him back to him, but he can secure some massive points here for his team by finishing second, and
especially with a 5-second gap back to old Wakey there,
who's now managed to pull a second further away from Just the Atom, as Just the Atom probably be looking maybe coming in this lap or next.
We do have the other Tyrone up the inside of Jimmy Superfly on the back straight there for position, coming up into 7th.
Jimmy sweeps around the outside.
Jimmy says,
not yet.
I don't think so. It's a bit hard sometimes. You've got to get the run of the slipstream from the guy in front. You've got to time that down to perfection to make that move work.
Yeah, well, if you pop out of that slipstream just a fraction too late, you end up in the wall. Don't we? Where is he? He was in there somewhere earlier. In there, Benny. Black light for life. That's not edge bell life, mate. You know better.
The other Tyrone put a nice fence mark up the side of that beautiful Aussie Hampton's livery there, and on the last corner, but still in the slipstream.
Quick look back here at Ghost, as he's still got his hands full now. He's managed to get in front of the good doctor. He's holding down a very good 11th position. There's a guy who's not racing in the championship per se at the moment. He's there as a team owner and a backup driver when required. It's been a while since he raced in anger, and here he is mixing it up with some of the very quickest BMW drivers, filling in this Ferrari championship.
Old Streetle Juice has had a good second stint. He's moved a good couple of seconds in front of Ghost, so he's away from that sort of battle pack, which would make it easier to put the times in.
He has managed to clear away.
He is putting it quite hard on the tyres, so we'll see how that plays out later on in his stint. I reckon Ghost might catch up maybe, but we'll see how that goes.
Got a good little bit slip slidey through Dom Perignon there on exit, and then slid around that long right-hander as well, so it's starting to look a little bit loose, but he's definitely put a gap there. He's a good nearly 3 seconds ahead of Ghost.
That Obsession Forgotten Islands Brewery Ferrari's looking absolutely fantastic tonight though, so
loving it. DB extends out to 4.5 seconds, popping in a couple of extra quick ones. Just the
do you reckon Prusky's sort of in the background of Ghost, sort of clipping him in the back of the ear not to gain time on Streetle?
Yeah, well, he could do. He could. Wouldn't blame him if he did.
ABM Mitch makes his way past the good doctor there for 11th place. And there's that alternate strategy playing out for Just the Atom. He's made his second pit stop. As I was saying before, ABM Mitch is he's handling the Ferrari quite well this evening. He was struggling, as I was saying earlier, so it's good to see that he's found the groove.
I think the good doc's just having a good time out there. He's sliding that Ferrari all over the place.
He's coming up to his couple of laps of his stint there, so definitely heavy tyre use on the left-hand rear. Runs it nice and wide.
On board with old Wakey. So we just passed the halfway mark. 25 minutes to go. Lap 12. As they've sorted themselves out into a bit of a spread out field. We've got DB clearly out in front. The top four, really, top five have spread out a bit.
He's stretched it out to 5 seconds almost there, so he's going to say thanks guys, see you later. He will finish this out. I'd say he's going to be in this lap, if not this lap, definitely next, as if he gets the line nice and early on the pit entry line there. Good to see. I reckon Scooter will be the same. Beautiful job there. Old Wakey. Whoa, there we go, mate, into the pits as well. So that top three are all playing that same strategy.
Like a long fill.
This is the pit stop where, so the first pit stop you sort of do have a half a tank or a bit of under half a tank left. So this is the first pit stop where you do have to come from sort of 0 to 60. So it is a bit longer pit stop. You feel like, or you can hear the cars going past and it feels like you're just standing there for ages.
Well, I think we may be looking at a slightly lighter on fuel Scooter.
I was going to say,
he's pulled back 2.5, nearly 3 seconds on DB through that pit stop there.
We did have a couple of litres more than DB did before the pit stop, but I didn't think it was sort of a 2 second sort of advantage there for him. But
suggested to be running a little bit lighter, but
a little bit lighter.
The plan.
Yeah.
So old Wakey's now managed to put over 5 seconds on Just the Atom. That's stretched out from what was about 1.5 seconds, about 5-6 laps ago. So that top three now are in fairly strong positions here to take out podium finishes. Black Project
Definitely.
Again. Pretty strong performance. Blacklight will be pretty stoked with this result. It's been a really consistent performer for them this season. I think once again EBM's running long on his stint.
He is, just the 1 lap extra, so Mr. Bumcrack will be looking to make that move, you'd say, right about now. So pulls out of the slipstream.
Gets it done. Always a chance for a repass here if he pulls in behind nice and tight. Get a bit of a tow again.
Well, as a driver, you do think about that little pass there, but hopefully the better of you does prevail. Especially with the tyre condition compared to the two drivers there. Mr. Bumcrack's going to drive away now, and obviously EBM's coming in for his pit stop. You don't want to get held up, either of the drivers.
Coming into the tough period here, especially for some of these guys who are, well, like Shinobi, who's running second race back-to-back. He's now been racing for well over an hour. Combined the BMW race with this one, and quite easy for concentration levels to wane a little when the small mistakes start to creep in. He's holding a really solid 8th position at the moment with Jimmy Superfly, who was right up there with the quickest of them early in this race before he had his accident through and over the bridge. So Shinobi's got a quick driver behind him, working hard to keep him there.
The fresh car as well, so he's going to be pushing hard. Definitely not a place you want to have a look at coming through here. Just really focusing on getting the car settled for coming onto the bridge. They both do that successfully.
He has managed to close up significantly here in the first half of this lap. You'll say we'll be getting a pretty good look at him as they get onto the flat.
You don't do the pass there, you say, but you keep nice and tight here. Is all nice and close to the wall, Shinobi. He's going to come wide, set the pass up. This is where I was saying you need to judge the slipstream. As you can lose a lot more time passing in a corner than you can down the straight. So if you can sort of set your moves up for your advantage,
get it done here. Yep. Definitely the best place to pass on this track. Safest part. It's nice and wide. Plenty of room for all drivers.
Well, I'm just excited from the couple of community races. There's a few of the guys in there tonight as well. It's good to see a lot of passing and a bit longer race as well.
Are we having a ball?
Of course we're having a ball. How can you not? Sunday night, Sector 1 community on YouTube.
Well, good idea. Shinobi comes in. Still plenty of fuel on board there. Interesting to see how much fuel he takes on board. Once again, DB starts to stretch his legs. He's pulled it out to 3.3 seconds again. So about 3/4 of a second since the last pit stop. He's extended his lead over Scooter 82. He's been rock solid. Hasn't made a mistake all race.
The Shinobi and EBM Mitch have filled their tanks to the brim. They're hoping they can get home with 18 minutes to go. I couldn't do that.
The tyres will be fairly rotten by then, I would have thought.
Correct. But you never know.
Luck favours the brave, they say. They also say it's a fine line, isn't it? Well, look, when you're in those sort of positions, sometimes it's worth giving something a go. Trying to do something out of the ordinary. You never know. Some guys might run out of fuel. Some guys might crash.
Correct, as we've seen tonight, this is an unforgiving circuit, so it's not over till the fat lady sings. Definitely DB in command here tonight. Looking at his lap times, he's backed off a little bit in this sector just to sort of conserve the car.
He's circulating is what he's doing. He's just going around.
Well, when I say circulating, they're still pretty damn quick times. So.
Absolutely.
Scooter, he's putting in some quick times, so he's still not as fast as DB on the quickest lap, but pretty low 207s for race pace, which is quite decent. You sort of see old Wakey, he's sort of high 7s, low 8s to keep the car in low 7s and look after the tyres through a full stint is quite a feat. So he's pushing as hard as he can, but still looking after the car.
Just going through the field at the moment, as they all have managed to sort of spread themselves out a fair bit now. Becomes a bit of an internal battle at this stage. I've always found it hard to maintain lap speed without a reference around me. I always like cars around me to allow me to sort of keep pace. As soon as I find myself out on my own like this, I tend to lose speed.
I'm sort of the opposite. I don't mind having an open track. I find you get the car in front, it's hard to pick up your braking markers, but then if you do get stuck behind a car, you do get used to their braking markers, and that sort of changes up your sort of line and mentality on when you brake. And when you do get past, it's all different again, because you haven't got them in front for the markers that they're working off and their tail lights. You don't have that there, and next thing you know, you've braked 50 metres too late, you're into the wall, and you've got a couple of cars up your backside.
Well, these guys now will be allowed to get into their rhythm. Nobody really around them.
Unfortunately, Justy Adams spun around again. Black Project's up to 4th. He gets it going.
Can't get that.
Bum cracks up the inside. He's let him go. He's in the marbles there, just the Adams. So you want to be careful getting back on the power.
That was a bad one. He's caught grass. He's spun sideways. He's reversed to get out of the way. Then he's rejoined, and well, he's managed to stay out of the way for Bumcrack to get through. But that's a costly error. It's a shame, but. Once
Comes
again,
into the pits as well.
Another position gained for Ragged Edge.
That definitely ruined his strategy there, that 14-minute mark coming in for his last stop.
What's happening, Troy? Good news for you there, mate. One of your boys. Going to bank some serious points for Ragged Edge tonight. Along with Ghost, who's doing a stellar job, sitting in 8th at the moment too.
He's up to 8th. Yep. He's doing well. Just behind the other Tyrone there. He's banking the laps in. That's some good solid points for RER there.
So Jesse Adam now, he's popped out just in front of Streetlejuice, who we saw earlier had put a bit of a lead on Ghost, but now that's reversed.
Well, Streetlejuice has sort of had the unfortunate luck that Jesse Adams has, and spun it around a couple of times. So to be in 10th is still a decent feat. He's obviously a bit harder on the tyre wear now than Jesse Adam, who's just pitted. So he'll just sit in there and save fuel and cross it out sideways, coming off onto the bridge there. Nice work, Streetle.
What he's managed to do here is hang on to the back of Jesse Adam, who should allow him to pull him back into that battle with Ghost.
With Ghost, correct.
Geez, I got close to the wall there, Ghost. That's a pretty impressive performance there, sitting in 8th. Doing the best he can for Ragged Edge. Bank up points, who along with Bumcrack, who's up into 5th again, of course, with Jesse Adam having had his spinning issues. Black Project in 4th. That's going to be close to a career best performance, that. He's done it nice and quietly too. No fanfare. He's just held it all together while those around him have started to make those mistakes we were suspecting might creep into the race.
Especially after that sort of half-hour timeline, that's when the mistakes start to get made. It's quite a difficult time to keep your concentration.
It's a demanding length of time, 50 minutes. We've, I think we have gone longer in our endurance races, which were an hour long, and plus an hour of sitting around for shootout qualifying, and that was pretty demanding. But it's when you're having to control a car like this, and you have to be so in tune with it to make sure it doesn't do anything silly on you, it multiplies. Or DB getting nice slidey around Bordeaux there. Still having a look up these corner names. I've missed mentioning the one I wanted to mention most, old Wardo Turn 1.
Wardo Turn 1.
Or those that aren't aware, that corner's been named after our inaugural champion, Andrew Ward, the Flying Kiwi. You got a corner named after him, which will stand the length of time as long as St Croix is involved. Bordeaux will be involved. They're doing more than anything their money, mate. You got to do some serious sucking up. I think there's a carton of beer or two that might be needed to get posted out. 4.9 seconds. Yep.
11 minutes to go. DB's in for his last stop. And no doubt Scooters sideways coming into the pit entry there to follow. Old Wakey, he'd be in as well once again. A little bit unsettled in the rear to get in between those lines that the race director asked you to meet. So DB out with 64 litres, Scooters 65.
Old Wakey still filling.
Still going, but Wakey was down to 1, so 65 as well. Trying to catch up that little bit on the last stop with Scooter, gaining those couple of seconds. He's lost it on this side of the pit stops, unfortunately, so he's back down to a 6-second gap. So first, second, third, definitely sort of in the bag, you'd say, as long as there's no mishaps.
Yeah, I think these guys are sort of now taken control of these positions. It's going to be difficult to dislodge them, if not near impossible. It'd have to be by their own doing, but we've just seen not 10 minutes ago just the Adam come unstuck. He's now managed to recover again, hasn't he?
He's just behind, 8 seconds behind Black Project. So Black Project's only 13 seconds behind Old Wakey. So a decent mistake, and that time he'll be straight on his tail.
It's just the Adam and Jimmy Superfly owing us pit stops.
No, Superfly's been in. He's looking good. Just the Adam's been in. He's a lot lighter on fuel, with only the 9-minute mark left, so he should be fine though.
Okay.
Everyone, apart from those sort of the last two guys, Shinobi and ABM, who pitted earlier with a full tank, everyone should be good to go.
Just a quick look at the back of the pack here with EBM Mitch holding 12th position. Still holding position in front of the good Doc. Of course, we had a disconnect earlier on tonight. Engine failure, let's call it. Who was it again?
It was CB.
CB9, unfortunately. Oh, EB hitting the wall on exit.
Good Doctor will be eyes wide open now. He's got the slipstream.
He has.
Closing nice and full. Is he going to? Yes, he just leaves a nice bit of room there. EBM, good work. Good Doctor just says thanks for coming. Slips it up the inside.
Just moves him slightly out wider there, taking a little bit of momentum off him, and that'll allow him to hold the lead as they come through the rapid curves. Soon to start lap 20, 8 minutes remaining. Our pre-race favourite DB 007 firmly in command of this race, 6.5 seconds clear of Scooter, who's had a faultless race. Old Wakey third.
As you said at the start of the race there, you'll just sort of no use trying to catch DB 007, use the tyres more and end up further back down the field. He's just played it nice and easy there tonight. Scooter in the Bacchus.
You can only claim the maximum points available, and in this case the maximum points available are the ones he will score.
Correct.
You're really relying on DB to help you out in order to get any more, but he's been pretty faultless himself. So Old Wakey in third, he's looking really, really strong for a podium finish here. Our quiet achiever, as we said at the start. Tough to sort of pick a driver of the race in a race like this. You know, there hasn't been necessarily the close racing that we probably come to expect on this track in the past, but you know, if you're looking at faultless drives, none more so than this one. Finishing on the podium in the GT class, in the Ferrari class, is no mean feat. The guy coming...
Especially
sorry, mate.
8 seconds behind Scooter, that's no mean feat at all,
No.
mate. That's definitely a good performance there. Another one of mine would be Black Project.
He'd be mine, I think.
Tough between those two, Old Wakey and the Black Project. So Old Wakey's sort of a new this season, I do believe, where Black Project's been around for a few.
Mm-hmm. Been around a little bit longer, but just massive signs of improvement coming from Black Project. It'd be interesting to see what transpires next season for him.
Especially in the car that you can actually
Be aggressive
talk to and make love to and caress it into the corners, where the Ferrari, I don't know, I just haven't got that connection yet.
It's a look. It's a car that was picked because of its challenge to drive. We wanted to test the very best, and we think we've done that. But I think next season we're going to get to see guys just go all out. I've driven that BMW a fair bit, and it's my favourite car in the game. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the top guys race in that M6 and see what happens. And then the guys in the M4 have also had 3 or 4 seasons racing in that car, and I can't wait. But there's still a lot of water to go under the bridge before we get to that stage.
Speaking of the bridge, if we could jump up to Jimmy Superfly is catching rapidly on Just the Atom.
Okay, Just the Atom might be in the fuel conserve mode here.
Nice and taily coming out of the corner there, hard onto the gas.
Nice slide. He loves the chase, Jimmy. He seems to come alive when he's got somebody in front of him within striking distance.
It's like a bull with a red flag too. Sometimes you sort of see it and it's like you've got to get it. So we'll see how he goes, see if he can... I think he's just dropped it back a bit on the slipstream there down the back straight.
The late breakers there.
Another difficult corner to sort of get the braking right, and then once you've got the braking right, you've got to contend with sort of mid-corner speed and then corner exit that one. So
tricky old corner. So what has he got it down to? We're down to 0.7 of a second here as he closes in the closing stages of this race with probably no more than 2 or 3 laps to go. Just the Adam pulls out, trying to take away the slipstream advantage from Jimmy Superfly, but the gap is coming down.
A good exit out of turn 1. Might even think about it up the inside of into turn 3 here once he gets a nice run.
I think at this stage, if he's able to think clearly, he'll just close this gap in and again look to take advantage down the flat. Maybe at most at the end of the bridge there at Dom Perignon, but once again, the Adam just seems to have the advantage in certain parts of the course. He's managed to pull away again to 0.7.
I think he's lost that. He's still there and abouts, but he's just the Adam. If he can keep it on the track the next couple of laps, I reckon you might come home with a fifth place there. Just as I say that, he backs it in sideways, sprint car style, into the coming onto the back straight there.
Just wondering whether Just the Adam's doing his fuel saving through this section of the track where fuel consumption is at maximum, whether he's playing around with fuel settings and this is where he's losing most of his time, or may have done in the previous lap. Yeah, he's managed to restore that 0.7, 0.8 lead.
Both of them nice and sideways out of the corner there. But Just the Adam is a lot lower on fuel with coming down to, I'd say, maybe 2 more laps to go.
This could be the last lap, couldn't it? For these boys, anyway.
These boys should hit the finish line, I'd say. So there you go. Now we're on to their last lap.
Yep, on to the last lap now. Yep. Superfly has a look inside of Auto. Oh, nice and sideways. Just the Adam manages to hang on. Wow.
Smokes it out. Thank you.
Did well to hang on then. I thought for a second he was going to lose it.
Jesse Adams not going to sit around. I reckon he's going to have a look. No, not enough. Not close enough, unfortunately. Nice and sideways. Those rear tyres protesting. No, please, no more, sir.
And that and the concern perhaps for fuel, I think, might put an end to his chase of Jimmy Superfly. We might have a quick look down the field as we approach the closing stages. Bumcrack still holding a solid 7th position. 8 seconds clear of the other Tyrone. Streetle Juice 3 seconds further back, who has managed to clear out in front of Ghost again.
Ghost again.
Yep. Those two managed to have a cracking battle all race. The good doctor still sitting in a pretty 11th spot. Well done, mate.
Shinobi following it up there in 12th, and ABM Mitch there. Those two guys were on the long strategy, where I'd say Shinobi has come back in for maybe even a 4th pit stop as he found out the tyres were not going to make it the distance.
So we've got DB 007 who takes off on his final lap. He has managed to cross the start-finish line.
Scooter gets one more.
This
will be it for old Wakey, will it?
So that'll be a 3rd place finish. Nope,
he's
crossed.
made it too, so Black Project, RX7, well done, mate. Nice fourth place coming around the last corner there. Nice and close to the fence.
Performance.
Brings it onto the team wall there. Thanks, guys.
Big stack of points for his team there. Solid performance.
Jimmy Superfly brings it out on the back straight. Jussie Adam, nice and sideways, but Superfly is going to bring home the bacon there. Mr. Bumcrack also come home in 7th place. Good drive, Mr. Bumcrack. First one for the Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
The other Tyrone flashes the lights there. Well done, the other Tyrone. Streetle Juice in the Forgotten Island Obsession Ferrari there. Well done, mate. And Ghost.
So Ragged Edge taking out 7th and 10th there. We await to see what sort of points that sort of racked up and whether they've managed to break into the top 3 for the overall
well done,
championship.
The good doctor. The good doctor in 11th. Nice drive. I knew he wouldn't finish last. He started last, so he just nice consistent drive. Shinobi in 12th and EBM Mitch there brings it home. But that's definitely going to the team's champion and the combined champion. That's going to change it up, I'd say.
So we're going to get a victory for Counterpunch Racing.
I forgot about these boys.
Yeah. I held off as long as I could. He's going to rack up a win for us, which we're mighty proud of him. Well done, DB. Solid race tonight.
He's worked this down to the T. I'd say he's about to run out of fuel
on
maybe
the line,
just after the finish line here. Well done, nope, and he's out.
Well calculated. And look, it feels weird saying you can't give this bloke driver of the day. He's done nothing wrong. Driven the perfect race, finishes 2nd. Fantastic performance by Scooter.
Bacchus livery, Dadson Racing there. Well done, Scooter. An old Wakey.
The quiet
3rd
achiever.
place. Aussie Hampton livery.
Well done. Great race, guys. So, that concludes round 5.
458 Ferrari Challenge at St Croix, or St Croix, however you'd like to say it. The round 5 challenge. One more to go for these guys.
Done and dusted, which now opens the way for round 6, our final round, and everything to be decided still. I don't think there is a single championship yet that mathematically can't be decided. I suppose, as we said the other night, the GT, the Ferrari A championship might be pretty close to decided, but not yet. A disconnect and a result go the other way, and all of a sudden it gets turned on its head. So we will be going to Monza to finalise this season 2 of Sector 1 Sim Racing, and where all champions will be crowned. What did you think of that race, Diego?
That was good. It was good to get a main game from the community series. Lots of passing to commentate on there, and lots of action from the guys. The guys seem pretty excited in the post-race chat. I don't think we'll see Ghost in a Ferrari ever again.
I don't think we'll be seeing a lot of guys in a Ferrari ever again, to be honest. A few of these guys have had just about enough of it. But yeah, look, I think it's all set up for what should be a fantastic final round at a track that I think a lot of guys will enjoy. Monza, a historical track with, as we suggest, so much history to it, and Ferrari's right at home on an Italian track. We
doesn't say much more passion about motor racing than Ferraris at Monza, does it?
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to keep an eye on practice through the week, and we'll have our snoops out there seeing who's doing what. Of course, I think moving on, we do have our community race series continuing this Thursday from memory, but all that information will be released in due course. NASCAR.
Those boys are excited. They're champing at the bit to get in. They are fighting in the room there. So I expect to see a huge. It's going to be their second last race for the community boys. So they'll be putting it all out.
Second last chance to impress. Of course, a lot of the new drivers brought into the main game come from the community championship. Always admin, always keeping a close eye on the racing, on all aspects of it. What have we got in chat? Driver of the race, who are we looking at here?
Well, I suppose we should do the race results.
Yeah,
before
well,
we
let's
head
start
into
with
the
that.
driver of the day.
If you want to run us through final race results there, Dane.
Beautiful. If we're on the screen there, we've got FSR DB007 with a stellar performance. Scooter 82 in second. Well done, mate. Old Wakey, he's up there on my driver of the day. So nice and steady drive from Old Wakey. Well done. Black Project RX7 in fourth. Jimmy Superfly had an exciting race in fifth there. Just the Atom been off a few times in the grass and into the wall, but brings it home for sixth. Mr. Bumcrack, the plumber's main man there into seventh. Good work for a fill-in drive. Well done, mate. The other Tyrone, Streetle Juice in ninth. Well done, mate. You brought him home just in front of Ghost, so no doubt there'll be some bagging rights there. The one, the only, Ghost Ops for 10th position. As I said, he might not join us in the Ferraris ever again, but we'll, if we can ever get a Porsche, I'm sure he'll be there. The Good Doctor has brought it home from last position up into 11th. Well done. Nice drive, Good Doctor. Shinobi in 12th, and EBM S. Mitch 84 brings home the end of the field there. So well done, guys.
There we have it, guys. It was probably not the most exciting race we've had, but there was plenty in it, and what there was just high caliber driving. So there wasn't a lot in the way of silly mistakes or crash and bash or any of that. A couple of guys unfortunately come to grief just tackling the track, but other than that, it was a fairly clean race. All drivers.
That was the last words to the boys before the race was keep it clean and have fun. So they've definitely achieved that.
We have seen a few guys throwing some driver of the day calls. See driver of the day, a bum crack from Dadson. Streetle Juice driver of the day, Good Doc. Superfly. Bum crack.
Mr. Bumcrack was the first of the ring-ins, was he, for tonight?
Would have been, I think, in 7th. Correct.
Then we've a couple in there for Streetle Juice, another of the other drivers to fill in.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close one to call, but we will tally it up, and it will be announced after tonight's stream. Well, guys, I think thanks, guys. We appreciate it. Well, there's a lot of congrats there for Dane, who's made his debut on debut on a Group A race, but yours on a Sunday, is it? Your first Sunday race? Or have you done one before?
Sunday race.
First Sunday race?
I have got a groove in the chair, so good job in getting that one back, boys.
There we go. He's claiming it. You have to fight him for it. We have got, as we said, the Community Series coming up on Thursday. Next Sunday night, we've got ourselves the start of the final round. Now, I should know this, but I don't. It could be Group A. It could be Group B. I don't know which round they're going to throw up first. Logic would say it might be B, but who knows how we do things here at Sector 1. We'll be announcing, unless one of the other admin boys there can let me know. What are we running next week? A or B? This'll be testing all of them.
Either way, like you're still coming down to the last race for the boys. So whether it's Group A or Group B, it's definitely going to be a championship for the Group B boys.
So back to Group A next week, where we will do it all again.
Looking forward to first corner shenanigans at Monza. It's going to be it's going to be good.
I honestly can't remember. We've raced there for at least maybe 3 or 4 times. We've had championship rounds at Monza. Each time it's been 3-4 races, and every single time we've had first corner. first corner shenanigans. I don't think we've had a clean start once. So we never know. We might change that come next week. But in all likelihood, with the entire championship riding on the line, I'd say, yeah, we're in for an entertaining night's racing.
Something's going to happen for sure.
Something is going to happen. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us tonight, Diego. Enjoyed myself immensely. Always fun. Look forward to doing it again with you.
Beautiful, thank you. And a good call to Mr. NASCAR as well.
Yes, he's probably snoring at home now. He's getting some rest. He was a bit tired, the poor lad, but he fulfilled his duties in the box. He's done well. With that, guys, I think we will call it a night. And we look forward to having you join us again on Thursday for Community Series. From myself and Dane, thank you for watching Sector 1 Sim Racing. Have a good night.